Annually, sharks cause the death of about 10 people worldwide. However, this is nothing compared to what inhabited ancient oceans, and today, I will explain to you in detail why you have no slightest chance to survive against any of these sea monsters. From huge fish to dangerous reptiles, chances of survival equal 0 against any of the current marine predators. And if you think you could survive, press like and subscribe to the channel, because only wise people capable in reality to survive do so. After that, leave a comment below how much you are mistaken. So, you perhaps consider sharks frightening, but they are only junior relatives of true marine horrors. Let's start with Cladastes, the most compact killer in our list, and still, your worst underwater horror. This is a dwarf in the prehistoric marine family, with a length of only 10 to 13 feet, only 13 feet. I see some of you typing. And this, my friends, is exactly such an approach that would make you the first victim in a horror movie. Here are the negative news. While modern Olympic swimmers develop speed around 5 miles per hour, Cladastes could cut through water almost at 20 miles per hour. This is not just faster than you. This means you won't even notice the approach. Imagine the fastest shark from nature documentaries, then equip it with jet engines. This is Cladastes. But wait, the situation worsens. Unlike current predators that more often act alone, there are convincing data that Cladastes hunted in groups. So, while you in panic swim away from one, 3 more encircle to block your retreat route. They essentially were a wolf pack of Cretaceous seas, exchanging signals and coordinating raids with frightening precision. But I would just reach the land, except that Cladastes often pursued prey in shallow coastal waters, exactly in those places where people prefer to swim. Now, the shore would not protect you. This would just mean you die with sand between your toes. Now about the incredible side. Those teeth. Cladastes had curved back teeth, acting like underwater fishing hooks. As soon as they gripped, these teeth guaranteed that the victim won't escape. No efforts would help to free oneself. The more actively you resisted, the deeper the teeth would sink. And truthfully, this is probably the most fleeting death in our list. Since next is Hallosaurus. And if you thought that pack chase is bad, wait for the story about a predator adapted specially for ambushes from zones where you never glance. So, you may suppose that you are in safety, keeping to shallow water, but Hallosaurus, stealth killer of ancient oceans, master of turning beach days into your final moments on the planet. Well, this is another mosasaur, whose length was from 10 to 13 feet, which roughly matches the dimensions of a large crocodile. But unlike Cladastes, advertising its presence with group maneuvers, Hallosaurus was a noiseless eliminator of ancient oceans. Here are negative news. While current beaches are equipped with lifeguards observing for sharks, Hallosaurus specially evolved for hunting in shallow coastal waters. These hunters could freely maneuver in water depth of just a couple feet, making any shore a pursuit zone. But the worst news, Hallosaurus was underwater analog of invisible bomber fossils show that they had adapted eyes oriented upward to fix silhouettes against the surface while remaining absolutely unnoticed from below. They could detect your kicking limbs from distance 100 feet, whereas you had no idea of their location. Well, I would just be vigilant and track movements. I hear from some of you. Well, this leads to the incredible side of this dinosaur. Hallosaurus possessed special curved back teeth that functioned as barbed hooks for fish. These were not intended just for fixation. They were created to guarantee that captured prey remains captured. One jerk from below would fix you, and no thrashing would release. But truly creepy aspect, paleontologists believe that Hallosaurus could temporarily beach itself for capturing prey at water's edge, and then wriggle back into depths, which implies even ankle-deep in water would not save you. At least with Hallosaurus, you had hypothetical chance to spot it if water was transparent as glass. But our subsequent horror elevates the idea of sudden attack to completely different level, because how to defend against a hunter that can reach you without shifting its body? You may think that shelter in rocks and crevices will protect you, but our next horror, Cryptoclidus, evolved exactly for penetration into these reliable refuges with a neck evoking envy in a giraffe. Cryptoclidus was a 13-foot plesiosaur, weighing about 1,600 pounds. Imagine a seal with a giraffe neck and hunting instincts of a great white shark. Evolution truly exceeded expectations with this creature. Well, here's negative news. Whereas most hunters need to maneuver the entire body for attack, Cryptoclidus could hold its massive body at safe distance, extending its strikingly long neck into narrow openings, those underwater grottos where you plan to hide. In fact, just convenient passages for this entity. And the worst news, these teeth were not just sharp, they intertwined, essentially working as a grill with spikes. As soon as Cryptoclidus closed jaws around you, these teeth connected together, turning the mouth into a chamber of daggers. Now about the incredible side, Cryptoclidus possessed adapted sensory organs, allowing it to detect hidden prey through olfaction and probably electroreception, meaning it could capture electrical signals emanating from your beating heart and muscle contractions. Essentially, it could smell your fear and sense the heartbeat, even if you are fully hidden from eyes. Fossils indicate that Cryptoclidus existed for millions of years in warm, shallow seas, covering a significant part of Europe in the Jurassic period, which implies this hunting strategy was strikingly successful. Their fossils discovered with preserved stomach contents, demonstrating that clearly considered shelter a good plan too. But before you overly fixate on the risk of hide and seek, let's discuss our next prehistoric horror, a creature so unexpected that it refutes everything you suppose to know about one of the most calm marine inhabitants. This is just a turtle could become your last words. Facing our next ancient nightmare, Archelon, a sea turtle that transformed the cute little reptile familiar today into a giant bone-crushing horror. This is the largest turtle that ever existed, length 15 feet and weighing over 2 tons. It roughly matched the dimensions of a small school bus. For comparison, the largest modern sea turtle, leatherback, reaches maximum about 7 feet. Archelon not just surpassed in size, it belonged to another weight category. Here negative news. Unlike harmless herbivorous turtles from your pet store, Archelon was an active predator. Those movies where turtles leisurely chew lettuce, replace lettuce with your limb, and speed up the footage tenfold. Not so appealing now, right? But the worst news. Archelon's jaws were not adapted for greens at all. They evolved for splitting shells of ammonites, ancient relatives of squids with shells stronger than in current crabs. Specialists estimate its bite force around 2,000 psi, which is enough to break bone, as if snapping a pencil. For reference, this is almost twice the bite force of an alligator. Now about the incredible side. Unlike today's sea turtles with rigid shells, Archelon had leathery, more elastic carapace. This is not a design flaw, but advantage, making it strikingly mobile. You would expect from such a behemoth slowness and clumsiness, but Archelon changed course with stunning agility, a property that modern turtles sacrificed for enhanced defense. And the most disturbing moment, Archelon probably possessed exceptionally long life, even by turtle standards. Some experts suggest they lived over a century, which implies one Archelon could hone hunting methods, devouring thousands of victims over decades of experience. But at least with Archelon, you get what you see. Our next ancient nightmare, nevertheless, resembles a frame from a sci-fi movie. Creature so bizarre that you doubt its existence. You may suppose that distance will save you, but our next horror, Tanystropheus, consisted mainly of neck, which meant sufficient distance did not exist in Triassic Ocean. If ancient oceans held a competition for the most absurd body design that still functions, Tanystropheus would win unanimously. Imagine a 20-foot reptile, half of whose length, just neck, and no, not elastic graceful neck like a swan's, but rigid, columnar neck, supported by just 13 greatly elongated vertebrae. This seemed as if nature took on a crocodile, got distracted midway, and attached a giraffe neck instead. Here, negative news. Although despite appearance of evolutionary mockery, Tanystropheus was extremely effective hunter. This 10-foot neck provided him strike radius twice the expected from body dimensions. Think yourself in safe zone. Reconsider, this creature could deliver strike from distance, seeming completely harmless. And the worst news, unlike today's long-necked creatures waving flexible necks around, Tanystropheus had rigid, unyielding neck, which maintained amazing stability. This not a flaw, but specific adaptation for hunting. This unwavering neck essentially was a living sniper weapon, providing precise lunges without warning about movements. And now about the incredible side. Fossils hint that Tanystropheus could partially conceal body and neck, leaving above surface only eyes and nostrils, which implies you could notice only what seemed a small reptile head drifting 10 feet away, without suspicion that the rest of the hunter extends underwater straight to you. Specialists suppose that Tanystropheus hunted freezing in shallow water, body concealed and only head visible, like primordial variation of iceberg principle, except instead of 90% underwater, it was 50%. Unexpected neck attack and ambush. But how eccentric Tanystropheus was. At least it remained relatively compact at 20 feet. Our next ancient sea giant was so enormous and terrifying that he pursued and devoured other apex predators on breakfast, including creatures that would make modern sharks resemble aquarium fish. So now we finished with all oddities and moved to pure nightmare, undisputed ruler of Cretaceous seas who devoured other apex hunters for breakfast, Tylosaurus with mosasaur, reaching sizes over 45 feet and weight up to 7 tons. For orientation, this is roughly school bus dimensions, except this bus possessed bite force capable to split a car in half. Fossils confirm that these giants stood at the absolute top of food pyramid, essentially T-Rex of ocean, if T-Rex became even scarier. But here, negative news. Despite colossal sizes, Tylosaurus moved with astonishing speed and maneuverability. Imagine object size of bus accelerating like racing car. Its hydrodynamic body and powerful tail allowed to develop speeds up to 30 miles per hour. This surpasses speed of the fastest human on land, except you try to escape in water. The worst news, however, those jaws not just were gigantic, they had concealed weapon. Tylosaurus possessed additional row of teeth on palate. Essentially, these teeth implied that even if you miraculously dodged main teeth, which didn't happen, you still would be impaled by reserve teeth. Now, about incredible side. Tylosaurus not limited to fish or trifles, he purposefully pursued and swallowed other marine reptiles, including plesiosaurs, other mosasaurs, and even giant sea turtles like Archelon. Fossils demonstrate Tylosaurus specimens with remains of other apex hunters in stomachs. This creature literally devoured monsters that already would be your worst nightmare. Tylosaurus fossils also discovered on 3 continents, confirming that these apex hunters dominated oceans globally. Separate specimens bear traces of grandiose clashes with equal prey, with scars that would make great white shark resemble owner of light scratch. But believe or not, how stunningly gigantic Tylosaurus was. He even was not the largest hunter in ancient seas. Our next nightmare makes Tylosaurus seem a warm-up, since if you suppose that Tylosaurus was large, time to dive deeper, literally, with Shonisaurus. 50-foot living submarine that could engulf you whole without need to chew. Shonisaurus with colossal ichthyosaur, which means fish lizard, for those who didn't succeed in ancient Greek. By the way, he plowed late Triassic oceans 237 million years ago, length 50 feet and weighing stunning 30 tons. He roughly matched sizes of modern whale shark, except instead of calm filtering, he aggressively pursued everything in path. Here, negative news. Despite weight of 7 elephants, Shonisaurus possessed incredible speed. His streamlined, dolphin-like body was intended for swiftness and performance, with estimates indicating achievement of 30 miles per hour, which surpasses Olympic swimmers. The worst news, however, Shonisaurus not limited to surface. Fossils suggest that these giant hunters could dive to enormous depths, possibly over 1,000 feet down. So you think shelter in depths will save? Rethink, these living submarines actually pursued you down, and unlike you, they did not worry about pressure or depleting oxygen. Now about incredible side, adult Shonisaurs were toothless, but before you sigh with relief, hear why this actually scarier. They didn't need teeth, since they generated sufficient suction force for engulfing prey whole. Their giant jaws expanded to swallow creatures 6 feet long in one gulp, without biting, without chewing. Just a moment, you swim. Next, descend down his throat. But the most frightening aspect, specialists think that Shonisaurus possibly acted in groups, which based on large fossil accumulations in Nevada, imagine not one 50-foot giant, but a whole group, synchronized herding prey, including you, into inevitable deadly trap. But we yet not reach the peak of ancient food pyramid. Our final sea horror makes even mighty Shonisaurus seem middleweight. Prepare for meeting with heavyweight champion of primordial seas. This because exactly when you decided that ocean cannot be scarier, we saved the absolute largest and evilest for finale. Shastasaurus, largest sea reptile throughout history. It made Shonisaurus resemble light snack, transforming uniqueness into destiny for dinner. This final boss of ancient oceans, this titanic ichthyosaur, reached almost fantastic 69 feet in length and weight up to 75 tons. This surpasses weight of modern Tyrannosaurus rex, 12 elephants, or all your extended family at festive dinner. Even majestic blue whale, largest creature now, would look at Shastasaurus with due respect. Here, negative news. Although despite mass roughly of jetliner, Shastasaurus moved with unexpected efficiency. His hydrodynamic body was outcome of over 30 million years of evolutionary perfection, generating what experts consider one of the most ideally streamlined large hunters ever existed. No corner of ocean was protected from him. From shallow coastal areas to the darkest depths, you could not hide from Shastasaurus. And to enhance this bad news, Shastasaurus specialized in deep water hunting, while other hunters were limited to certain levels. This giant could chase prey through various ocean layers. Fossils suggest he dived to depths, destroying modern submarines, forming inevitable death area, where escape simply absent, regardless of depth. And now, about incredible side. Like his smaller relative Shonisaurus, Shastasaurus was toothless, but for even scarier reason, he had adapted suction system generating vacuum. Upon opening giant jaws, pressure difference was so powerful that sucked in prey from several feet, like living underwater vacuum cleaner. You not just subjected to bite, you would be forcibly drawn into his maw, contrary to all attempts to swim away. And the most frightening detail, fossils hint that Shastasaurus probably pursued prey in complete darkness of deep ocean depressions, which means you even wouldn't discern approach of death, just felt sudden current, moment of confusion, and then darkness, since you simply turned into another food for the most effective marine hunter in planet's history. So, for all who still type, "I am built differently," in comments now, just consider, Shastasaurus was indifferent how you are built. After all, everything for him was just food. If you sit here right now, sincerely convincing yourself that could defeat Shastasaurus in Clash, I wish you to like the video and subscribe to channel. After all, you clearly eccentric and adore such type content. Then indicate in comments below specifically how you survived against each of dinosaurs mentioned in video.